Shalom, bruchim habaim. Welcome to this video. In this video, we are going to look at the 5 most typical mistakes students make when they want to use in Hebrew to grow, I grew up, and to raise, like I was raised in. So basically this active-passive game and always having the right binyan. So let's dive into it. I grew up versus I was raised. So when I say I grew up, I am using the active voice. When I say I was raised, yes, I'm using the passive voice. Now, in Hebrew, for I grew up, I use pa'al. So what does this mean for I was raised? And which binyan is it? Is it nif'al, pu'al, huf'al? So this is our root. And in modern Hebrew, we basically only use 2 binyanim. That means we have 2 verbs. And these are ligdol, this is pa'al, which means to grow. And this is intransitive. That means this is the kind of to grow, like I grow up, that you cannot transfer to the passive voice. What are we going to do with this now? Well, then we actually change from to grow to raise. But this also means to cultivate. This is when we come to PL, legadel. How to distinguish between the two? Well, generally speaking, I mean, when I'm not talking about where I grew up or I was raised, just generally speaking, legadel is much more about cultivating than about growing. Growing is what you are doing yourself. You grow. But then if you do it for somebody else, then it's more cultivating. However, nobody would cultivate children, right? We raise children. But the idea is a little bit that it's not your skin that is growing. Okay, and from PL, yes, here you can go to pu'al. This is transitive, so that means you can switch to the passive voice. Here's a sentence. I grew up, I was raised in Tel Aviv. גדלתי בתל אביב. So it doesn't matter if you choose I grew up or I was raised. In Hebrew, you basically always say גדלתי. But if you really want to stress this for whatever reason, yes, technically it's possible to say גודלתי. That is pu'al, the passive voice of PL. But seriously, guys, it's a little bit awkward. But yes, technically it's possible. Now, in this sentence, I grew up, I was raised, you're talking about yourself. And this is why you're using ligdol, this intransitive verb in pa'al, and you say gadalti. Now, if you want to say they raised me, you're not talking about you. You are talking about them. And now the thing changes. So here you can say, הם גידלו אותי בתל אביב. This is PL in the past tense. And of course, active, they raised. And me, direct object, אותי. This is אותי is from direct object at, אותי. If I want to say they raised whatever for me, then it is li. Hem gitlu li. Like they raised a dog for me. Hem gitlu li kelev. Also, they raised the child for her. הם גידלו לה את הילד. Okay? Because it is the child. So, את הילד. Okay. Now, newspaper and biography style. David, 44 years old, raised by his grandmother. And then we might hear what David has to say. This kind of style. בן 44, גודל, פועל, past tense, was raised. Yes, newspaper, biography style, but yes, raised by, על ידי, סבתו, סבתא שלו, his grandmother. In everyday life, you would say, בן 44, גדל אצל סבתו, grew up at his grandmother's house. Now, these differences require a little bit of feeling for the language. And I always say you have to learn in context. So here's a 1-minute promotion from your favorite sponsor, me. I am sending out every Thursday evening, well, European time, Israel time, weekly lessons where I send you an audio and a video and adapted to 3 levels. So you are getting comprehension questions, verb-focused exercises, vocabulary lists, all of that to practice within the frame of a real story. And this is mainly what keeps you engaged. You know, you see how we really use it. And since you understand the story, it's much easier that this will stay in your head. So you need context and you need exposure. If you're interested, below I leave you a link for the weekly lessons. Also here I always have a QR code for those who are watching on a smart TV, for example. And now we will summarize the 5 most common mistakes when students want to switch from I grew up, I raised, which is basically the same in Hebrew, but it's more elegant in English, but in Hebrew it is right away grammar challenge. So let's start. We have here the overuse of the passive. That's what I just said. Try to make it in the active voice. Okay, second, the confusion of li and ot. When I said, well, they did it for me, then it is li. And the over translating of raised by. People want to be polite when they speak English. They say, oh, I was raised, and they constantly try to find in their head this, oh, this is now passive. Da, 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 da. We had this here at the beginning of the video where I just said, technically speaking, you are talking about yourself and where you grew up, and that's it. Pa'al, active voice. So don't make a mess. It's not doing anything to the language and you are ending up in a problem. Mistake number 4. Students tend to think that legadel in PL only applies to children, to raising children. But legadel is everything. It is much more cultivating than raising. Yes, with children, we do use it, but basically you have to think about cultivating. It is about plants. It is about everything that is growing and you are taking care of other than yourself. This is legadel. And then we also have here number 5, assuming that ligdol only means physical growth. No, it is everything that becomes bigger. You can also, for example, a budget is growing, yeah, or your strength can grow, your mental strength can grow, also your physical strength. So everything that is getting bigger is ligdol. Okay, so this was it. I hope it was helpful, and let me know in the comments what you thought about it, and stay safe, take care of yourself, and I hope I see you in the next lesson, in the next video. Shalom.